Hello, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Jeff Mendelson, and this is the One Big Tip podcast. My guest today is Chris Miles. Chris is the CEO of Miles Away Marketing, a media and consulting company where you can learn a lot about making money online using affiliate marketing. He is also a podcast host and YouTuber of Benji's Dad, speaking about just being a dad and that wants to spend time with his family and did so with a simple blog by being a blogger at Blogger Evolution. He publishes videos on his YouTube channel that focus on blogging and affiliate marketing that give insanely actionable techniques and conveys experiences he has picked up from his failures and successes. So this is going to be a really interesting conversation today. I was talking with Chris a little bit in the pre-show. We have a very similar background in terms of how we came up and how we look at this industry. So I really hope everyone enjoys it. Chris, thank you so much for joining me and welcome to the show.
Thanks so much, Jeff, for having me on. This is going to be fun. I'm really excited. Let's go.
Yeah. So listen, for the benefit of everyone who's listening, let's talk a little bit about who you are and what makes you so amazing.
Yeah, let me see if I can get you the elevator pitch for that. So, when I first got started, it was just me and my wife, and we had jobs, but they weren't the greatest jobs in the world. But we were getting by. And then we found out that we were pregnant with our first son, and my wife expressed to me that she wanted to stay home with him full time. And I remember looking at her and thinking, we can't afford that, like not at all. But she kind of sat me down, looked me in my eye, and said, "Chris, you need to figure this out." I was like, okay. So I did what most people did. I went online and Googled how to make money online, or how to make money without having to have a second job. And I stumbled across blogging and affiliate marketing. It wasn't easy, but I was able to kind of figure a few things out within about 18 months. I was able to have my wife quit her job. About 2 years after, or 2 years in, I was able to quit mine. And thankfully, it's been about 4 or 5 years now that we've been doing this full time thing at home. Son's about 6 now, and it's been a fun existence. I'll say that for sure.
I love stories like this because basically what you did is that, you figured it out, right? It's like, and I'm not one to slam working in a corporate environment, but I just know it was very unhealthy for me, building someone else's dream
Yeah.
and then trying to figure out like, okay, like what am I going to do when I don't fit into their dream anymore, right? And funny story, if you look at my LinkedIn profile, no other company that I worked for in the past exists in its current form because they all changed, got laid off, disappeared, all kinds of things. And the only one that stuck around is my own, right?
Yeah.
And that is a great source of pride because then you're building something for yourself, you're building something for your family, and hopefully you're building something that other people can use as well. So
Yeah.
I can definitely talk about that. One of the things I wanted to I wanted to dive in with you was like a little bit more about how the blogging started, right? Because I feel that if you just go, like you said, and look for generic blog posts, how to make money online, there is way too much information out there, right? And you don't necessarily know which one is correct, which one is dated, which one is, advice that just doesn't work anymore. And then you got to figure out, okay, well, how am I going to, how am I going to really do this? How do I know that I'm on the right path? Especially when you're working, like you're working from home, you don't have, that water cooler experience where you can ask other people, things like that. How did that work out? How did you figure out like, okay, like I'm on a good path, but maybe I need a little bit more help. How did all that manifest itself?
Yeah. There's a lot of things that are involved with trying to build a brand online, trying to blog and get actual people, actual real human beings seeing your stuff. It's not easy, right? And because of that, one of the biggest problems, especially when I work with clients and students trying to get them into the blogging game, is that overwhelm is a real thing because there is literally a million things that need to happen, and when people are getting started they're on number 19. So that's a lot of steps that you got to go through. One thing that I found, I try well, actually one thing that I failed with, I should say, is I found a couple of influencers, I guess you could say, on YouTube. There was this one guy called the Lazy Stoner. I started following him about 8 9 years ago, and he made it seem so easy to just put some content out there and you're gonna get a ton of traffic, yada yada yada. So I followed his advice, and I copied, pasted everything he said to do. And then about a few months later, I posted it, and I got no traffic and no sales. And what I realized this like afterwards, after I got a little bit more experience, I realized that the whole little lazy stoner thing that he had was that was his shtick. That was just how he was presenting the information. But you did have to work kind of hard to get this thing to up and running. And some of the tips that he had were old tips at the time when I found them. So because I went through that negative experience, wasted a lot of time, money, and effort, I decided to go ahead and actually invest in myself. I was already in a ton of debt. I think we were over like 30 or so $1,000 worth of bad credit card debt. I figured, what's another little bit just to figure out how to, do this thing the right way. So I invested in myself. I actually hired a mentor and a coach to help me with this blogging stuff. And within about 18 months, I was doing it full time.
That's really amazing. I love stories like that. First of all, everyone needs a coach, right? Everyone really needs to, because probably the fastest way to shortcut, trade money for time so that you can get to your goals faster, right? Because if you're doing this just by using the University of YouTube, yes, you can figure it out, right? But choose your mentors and choose your personalities carefully, right? Because really what happens is, you almost don't know who or what you're going to get. And then it's like, all right, well, why didn't that work? And like you said, you had a negative experience. You tried to implement all this stuff and it really just got you nowhere.
Yeah, trying to do it on my own. And here's the thing, I don't think anyone could not figure it out. You can figure it out if you put enough time and effort into it, but it might take you 2 and 3 years, if not more, to try to figure it out. Or you can cut that learning curve literally by a tenth almost if you actually had someone looking at your current situation and telling you what to do now so that you can, not have to go through that whole trial and error period that most people have to go through in trying to figure this stuff out.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. So, Chris, I want to switch gears for a minute and talk a little bit about, what you can do, like once your blog is up and running. And one of the things I really like about your background is that it mixes not only blogging, but also affiliate marketing. And, without stealing your thunder, could you tell us a little bit about what what is affiliate marketing to you and how and how you use it to increase your business online?
Yeah, so essentially, affiliate marketing is just being able to partner with other companies and promote their products, right? You kind of become a little bit of a salesman for them, and you get paid a commission based on any sales that you create. But the cool thing about affiliate marketing that I really love is that it's a win-win-win for everybody, right? So the manufacturer gets to sell a product that they created. The consumer gets a product that helps them out of a jam. It helps solve their problem, whatever it happens to be. And then me, the middleman or the affiliate marketer, I get a commission from the sale from doing that. You do have to be very careful with it. There is some ethics involved. You don't just want to promote anything. You want to promote something that more times than not you've actually used and tried and know that it works before you start telling other people to go buy it as well. So I just go through that whole process. I start blogs in niches and topics that I enjoy, and then I start creating content on it. And because of that, I'm able to use Google search engine optimization or Google SEO to get relevant people who would be interested in these products and services onto my website, promote the services to them, and then I can make a commission from those sales.
What's what I really love about this scenario, right, is that you really are making money while you sleep, right? And that's really the difference between a business and a job, right? Because a job, what does it stand for? Just over broke, right? And what happens is that if you can increase, like your affiliate marketing income, you can really do something. And we're not talking about selling pharmaceuticals or, other kinds of stuff like that, shady stuff. Like there are a lot of great products out there that do pay you a significant, a significant percentage, that helps you out. Like one of the things, we talked about is, High Level and Active Campaign, being one of the most, some of the most generous affiliate payouts out there right now, especially in our field. And what's interesting is that these are tools that you and I would use every day, right? So why wouldn't we talk about them, promote them and say like, okay, well, like I'm using it. This is how I'm using it. And if you want to use my link, go ahead. And what happens is that also incentivizes you to provide support for them, right? So if you build a community just on, on how to use, any of these products, you can then, make this a nice little, starting from a side hustle all the way up into a main one, right? Tell us a little bit about, like some of the wins that you've gotten, with this, if you have any kind of other products that you like promoting, what does that look like in your world?
Yeah. So when we do blogging, a lot of times people's minds immediately go to Amazon, right? Because Amazon's a great affiliate marketing program because they convert so well. I mean, you might be seen as being a little weird if you don't have an Amazon Prime account, right? I mean, everyone has an Amazon Prime account for the most part. But because of that, people have a lot of trust with Amazon. And if you can send people to Amazon from your affiliate links, you can get paid. But the problem with Amazon is that they pay very, very small commissions. So one thing that I like to recommend that everybody do is go to a little bit of a bigger affiliate program. Don't just depend solely on Amazon, and you can make more money that way. A couple of things that I like to recommend is that number one, go after an affiliate program that's going to pay you a decent amount of money, but then also one that's going to pay you recurring revenue as well. A couple of the ones that you mentioned with Go High Level and Active Campaign, people sign up for those services and then they use it over and over and over again, month after month after month. So because of that, I would get a commission for every month that they remain a member there. And I only had to really sell it once. I really only had to promote it and get them to sign up one time. And if it's a good service and people like using it, it works out rather well. One thing that was very successful for me was that I had a training program that I was promoting to showing people how to do blogging itself. And because of that, I was able to get like a 30 or 40% commission. And it was a service that I was using and people needed to stay there month after month. And it was able to balloon to a few grand per month. But then after I kind of slowed down on promoting it, that few grand per month kept going for at least 2 or 3 years without me even touching it. It was going down a little bit, but for the most part, because of that recurring income, it kept going and going and going. And that's very consistent. It's best for me have with a family and everything, knowing that I can have X amount of dollars coming in no matter what. It was really beneficial and it was a big win for my business to really justify quitting my job at the time, which can sound kind of crazy. Even my mom today still asks me, like, how's everything going? Like, it's going fine, mom. So that's one of those fun things. But yeah, you just got to get it started.
You know, I like to think about these different products and services and activities that we're doing as digital marketers as channels, right? Because that's really what they are. Like your blog is a channel. Your YouTube is a channel. Your podcast is a channel. How do your blog, your YouTube, and like your other sites and all that, and your podcast, how do they all interconnect with each other and support and feed off of each other?
Yeah, that's a great question, Jeff. So they're all channels. What we like to call them is traffic sources, right? That's where we are going to get people to our websites and to our brands. The one thing that I definitely would say is whatever channel you're using, you need to turn that traffic that you don't own into traffic that you do own. So as I'm creating content on my blog, as I'm creating content on YouTube or podcast or whatever, I'm steadily trying to send people to an email list so that I can continue to promote to them over and over and over again as time goes on. If there's a big algorithm update with Google or with YouTube or whatever, and all the views or whatever on my channel, disappears, I still have that email list that belongs to me that I can always promote to. So I look at each one of these channels, each one of these traffic sources as just a way to get people who are interested into the subject into my world. And I do that as much as possible. Almost every video, almost every blog you'll see of mine is a call to action to go join my email list or something like that. And by doing that, it's super helpful in helping to insulate your business in case outside forces cause you to do some strange stuff.
So what comes first? This is the chicken or the egg syndrome, right? So do you start a YouTube channel first? Do you start a blog first? Do you try to push products first? In your view, What do you think are the first steps someone should do when they want to break into this and use this as a unique channel?
Yeah, so this might be an unpopular, way to say it, but I think, as great as YouTubing, as great as podcasting, all of this fun stuff is, you need to have your own site. Because at the end of the day, you have a nice big YouTube channel. The URL or the little thing that you would type into Google to get to your YouTube channel is still youtube.com/ your channel name, right? So it's always belonging to someone else. I could sneeze wrong, and then YouTube's like, we don't like you anymore. We're shutting down your channel. That's rare. I mean, I'm not saying that that would happen, but it can happen. And I've seen instances of it happening before. However, if you build up your blog first, or at least some way to capture people's contact information, whether it's email, whether it's, phone number for texting or whatever, so that you can continue to follow up with people even as time goes on, you can further insulate yourself and your business. So I would say start the blog first, get some articles up there, get away what's called a lead magnet or just an ethical bribe to get people's contact information, and then start building up your email list, and then everything else is going to drive to that email list. So I guess to answer the question, start the blog first, start collecting emails, and then once you have a little bit of a solid foundation there, then you can expand to other traffic sources or channels.
Amazing, Chris. Thank you so much for sharing that. Can you please let everyone know where they can learn more about you and how they can find you online?
Yeah, for sure. You can check me out over at bloggerevolution.com. I also have a podcast with the same name, Blogger Evolution. We like to have fun there. We talk a lot about affiliate marketing and SEO and blogging tips so that you can build up a passive income source that's just your blog that's running, making money while you're, not working on it. You can do whatever else you want at that point. You can, work on another business. You can go sit in Mai Tais on the beach or whatever, right? It takes work to get there, but it's a fun existence once you reach a certain period where your blog is probably out earning what you're doing at your regular job. So I was able to go through that process, and now I'm helping other people do that over at Blogger Revolution.
I love it. Chris, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a lot of fun. I love nerding out on this stuff, and I really appreciate you taking the time to break this down for the audience.
The pleasure is all mine, Jeff. I'm hoping that people got some value out of this and be able to enjoy what we have to offer for them.